Good evening, and welcome to the April 6th combined meeting. Roll call, please.
Ms. Acosta? Here. Ms. Fabry?
Here.
Mr. Fiocchi?
Here.
Mr. Holmes?
Here.
Mr. Rivera?
Here.
Mr. Sabrana?
Here.
Mr. Silva? Mrs. Cataspati?
Here.
Ms. Spinelli?
Here. In compliance with the New Jersey Open Public Meeting Law, commonly referred to as the Sunshine Law, the Vineland Board of Education has caused notice and posting of this meeting to be sent to the following, announcing time, place, agenda, etc. The Daily Journal, S&J Today, the Press of Atlantic City, Nuestra Comunidad, Visto Bueno, and the Clerk for the City of Vineland, and the Administrative Office Public Bulletin. We're now going to have our Memorial Middle School students come up for the flag salute. If you want to stay at the front of the stage, Ms. Fabry is coming down with some certificates for you, and we're going to snap a quick photo. Thank you and great job. Moving on, resolution for executive session. We're going to have our executive session tonight after our special presentations.
Now therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Education of the City of Vineland School District will convene into executive session for the following reasons outlined in NJSA 10:4-12, discussions of the VEA collective bargaining agreement and any matters falling within the attorney-client privilege to the extent that confidentiality is required in order for the attorney to exercise his ethical duties as a lawyer.
Thank you. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Acosta?
Yes.
Ms. Fabry?
Yes.
Mr. Fiocchi?
Yes.
Mr. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. Rivera?
Yes.
Mr. Sabrana?
Yes.
Mrs. Cataspati?
Yes.
Ms. Spinelli?
Yes. Do I have any special presentations this evening?
Thank you. Yes, we do. We have 4 presentations. We will begin with Executive Director Mr. Ashton and Principal Lundy, who will provide an update on the SESI program at Cunningham Academy. Our board members all received a packet, so you could refer to the packet as our presenters are here with us, and a welcome to some of our students who I recognize from the program. So thank you for being here this evening. Mr. Ashton, go ahead.
Thank you very much to the Vineland Public School Administration. Thank you to Vineland Public School Board of Education for inviting us tonight. I just want to give some praise, as we always do, to some brave young men and women in the crowd and standing behind us. They're going to get their public speaking 101 a bit early. We also have some staff members supporting, and clearly we have a family member that supports as well. And so everybody should have the digital PowerPoint. I didn't want to make you move. I was aware that you had to move. I'm not about distractions, so we're going to keep it as seamless and efficient as possible. You should also have 3 letters, student testimonial letters, that either are hard copy or linked to you. I advise they're pretty inspiring from a youth's perspective, and student voice clearly is what we try to promote. So ultimately, thank you for your time, and it's been a little bit. I know the work that we've done has been continued. This is our 7th school year. It's obviously a blessing and an honor to be able to service, Vineland Public Schools. And some of the information in here is going to be surprising. One fact of 700 and approximately 80 students. So 780 students have historically come through Cunningham's doors. Now, that's not all students that we've serviced throughout. That's a cumulative number. Some of the overview for what you'll see is purpose and core values, enrollment, attendance, promotion, graduation, our value add to the community, why we are a staple, why we are ingrained into this community. And then also we have our student presenters, and Mr. Lundy will review some events. So purpose and core values, clearly, I do want to read these. I know you can read those and to our audience members here. So Cunningham Academy is deeply committed to the academic and social success of its students. Through the partnerships with school districts across the country, approximately 41 states across the country, we focus on re-engaging, graduating, and preparing students for success in K-12 and beyond. And so clearly our mission and goal is to refocus and reinvent students. A lot of students come to us with stories, and what you'll hear are the other side of that. They learn how to be just that, a student. So some of the core values, I will not read all these. Clearly, we're accountable. It's a huge word for us. What we do and what we say, we're accountable for it, and clearly our students believe that. We model high standards of a professional behavior. We deliver meaningful and appropriate instruction. All right, some of our enrollment data, obviously everybody's gone through it, okay, the global pandemic. What you'll see, so contracted, we're 131 contracted. Currently on roll right now is 83%. Our year-to-date students who have come in and for whatever reason have either transitioned, withdrawn, or transferred out, 127 students. So there's a clear need for our services, unfortunately, with the transient population that we do serve and some of our targeted population of the true at-risk. They are in and out of schools, and we do see them down the road as well. I do want you to note, so our students of enrollment do not just consist of conduct referrals. Clearly, we service all types. Okay? Behavioral modification, credit recovery support, and students who just experience chronic attendance concerns. So our historical enrollment, as I said, from 2015-16 to date is 780 students.
Good evening. I'm just giving you some of our historical data. Attendance over the last 6 years, our attendance has been 80%. Currently, our attendance thus far is 76%. Promotion rate, again, historically, over the last 6 years, we've been at about 86% promotion rate. Projected for the coming year, 21-22, we're projected at 100%. Those are students who've been in the program for at least 120 days. Next page is just really some positive points of pride, different events we've had this school year: Women's History Celebration, Black History Bowl, Thanksgiving Celebration. We have what's called a Battle of the Cohorts. So through grades 7 through 12, they compete on attendance, behavior, and academic. Who's the best in the building? And middle school has been that thus far this year. Graduation. Again, historically, our graduation rate has been 95% over the last 5 years. excuse me, we've contributed towards 5% of the district's graduation rate. Our credit recovery program has really been one of our highly positive points of pride. Students have been behind in credits and catching up through that program. This year, again, projected 21-22 school year, we are projected to, at the 16 of our graduates, all of them are expected to graduate. This year, first year, we have 5 students who will be graduating early. As well as grades 9 through 12 are on pace to graduate. 9 out of 12 of those students from the freshman class, 17 out of 25 from the sophomore class, 13 out of 20 from the 11th grade class, and 9 out of 10 from the senior class. Cunningham added values. Just some things that we recognize have been added values to our program. So small classroom instruction, really trying to reduce the dropout rates, increasing the graduation rate, helping decrease the total expulsion rate as well, fostering small classes in the community, individualized learning, one-on-one instruction, just a few things that are added values to the program. Just some additional programs that we have in the program. So agricultural experience through our greenhouse, our STEAM program. Again, we have a lot of different events such as the Black History Bowl, Thanksgiving. We've been doing a great job. Our students is volunteering at the soup kitchen on Wednesdays for the past few months. We have a teen talk. You know, our students really want to know, is anybody listening to us? And so they participate in what we call Teen Talk in New Jersey. They're part of the Workforce Develop Program, and through the district, they also do Boys and Girls Club, county work groups, and city council. And they share and support. We have some student presenters today. So Destiny Cabrera, Nasir Costin. One young lady couldn't make it, but in her place would be Azine Watson and Anaya Olivo. So I don't know. They're a little nervous, so you got to bear with them a little bit.
Hello, nice meeting everybody. My name is Azine Watson. I'm in 10th grade. I'm here to represent Cunningham Academy, what I like to call the art. I like the art. Before I came to the art, my attendance was bad. I ain't gonna lie. How I spoke to teachers was bad. I ain't gonna lie. Everything was bad, but when I got to the alternative school, they brought me up. They basically is more one-on-one working with them. Like they got more love for you. It's like a family place. Like, and I like that. They wake me up. They strive me every day to come, to succeed, to try to graduate, all that. But everything else, good. That's it. Thank y'all.
Hello, my name is Anaya. I've been at Cunningham for 3 years. In 2021, I never came to school. It was during the pandemic. I was always working. Like, I wasn't really worried about school, so it put me in jeopardy of graduating with my class this year of 2022. So the teachers and the staff members, like, supported me. So I had credit recovery. I finished 60 credits this year from all the support from my teachers. And they're like family. They welcome you, you know. Yeah, that's it.
Hi. Hello, my name is Destiny Cabrera. I'm in 8th grade. I represent Cunningham Academy. Before going to this school, I'll say at my other school I had basically what they call a bad reputation. So I wouldn't really do my work. I didn't really have respect for any of the teachers. But coming here, it taught me, like, it opened up my eyes to know that I need to have respect for my elders. They helped me feel that I've been doing a lot better since I've been at this school. Like, they said we're all a family. Like, even though they're not my blood, I still count them as my family. I have the right to speak at this school because they really listen to me. So I feel that I have a voice and I can talk to them if I need to go to them. I feel comfortable around them and I feel safe. So I love this school.
Hi, my name is Nazir. I'm representing Cunningham Academy for the Board of Education. So what I want to talk about today is my attendance. So before I came to Cunningham, my attendance was like really bad. Like in December, I didn't go to school at all. And my attendance was like a lot of days missed. And now that I go to Cunningham, I'm in every single day. And I feel like I'm in 7th grade. I feel like the school helps me a lot with post-secondary endeavors because I feel like I'm bettering myself as a person because I'm not focused on like going out in the streets or like trying to be grown or doing none of that. None of that, I'm sorry. I'm trying to speak proper. So I'm not focused on any of that and I'm just trying to do better for myself. Thank you.
So I hope you see some authenticity there. There's really no role play in that. Dr. Sneathing and I believe Mr. Yano gets a fact sheet, which we do every month. We've been doing it for the past 3 years. We've enhanced it a little bit to kind of at a glance. And so those are sheets that will capture additional numbers. So these are something right here as far as the digital PowerPoint that you have there in front of you are just at a glance, but if you want in-depth numbers, we can share that with you as well. If there's any questions, we'd be happy to answer.
Board members, any questions or comments? Ms. Acosta.
I don't really have any questions. I just want to compliment each and every one of you. It took a lot of courage, and I am completely impressed at your public speaking skills. They're wonderful. So you should all be very, very proud of yourselves and proud for the Cunningham Academy. Keep doing a good job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Catasparty.
I don't have any questions either. I just have a comment. I was on the board when Cunningham first started through Camelot, and what you do for the children there, our students, is phenomenal. I've seen changes, turnarounds. You all should be so proud of yourselves. I'm speaking to all the students here and through the district. You are why I ran for the board. You are why I do what I do to make sure this district is good. You're our future, and we want to make it the best possible place for you to learn, to be able to be out in that future. So congratulations to all of you, and keep up the good work, and stay in school. Thank you.
Anyone else? No? Okay, moving on.
Okay, so I just want to thank our team, Mr. Ashton, Mr. Lundy. I believe some of your staff are here as well.
Yes, sir.
Supporting many of your students. Dr. Sneeden and I have had the opportunity, and Mr. Fry, to go to the building and interact with your students, and it's incredible the growth that happens over time. You know, there's a lot of people who have questions about the program, but when you see the students present the love that you have for them, it's a wonderful thing. So I continue to applaud the board for investing in our students' education. We have a wide, diverse range of students in Vineland, and you heard some very articulate, intelligent, amazing kids today. And at our next event that we have at the school, again, of course, I want to receive that invitation first, but then I want our board members to visit with us over there so you can see the magic that's happening and the focus and the work, because it's not all easy. Every day is not easy. We have challenges every day, and there's just some really wonderful things happening there. And I know Dr. Sneeden and Principal DeMarchi and their work to support the school, you know, is something that's well received, and they also appreciate everything that you are doing on a daily basis. So thank you so much again.
Of course, thank you.
At this time, I would like to ask Ms. Suzette DeMarchi, who will be presenting Great Things Are Happening at VHS. We're going to use the screen, I believe, right? So our board members will need to find a good spot to view. You'll want to see the actual presentation, please, so come on down to the floor, please.
Sorry that you're moving.
me to sing. Oh, you don't want me to sing.
It's beautiful. How are you? Good.
Do you want me to like tap every time like we're ready to like switch through?
Yeah, whatever's easiest for you.
Okay. You ready?
Good evening, Superintendent Mr. Yano and Central Administration, Board President Mrs. Spinelli, Board Vice President Ms. Codispati, and board members and members of the community. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share all the great things happening at Vineland High School. It has been so refreshing to have that sense of normalcy as our students are back in school and are enjoying all the amazing opportunities that Vineland High School brings. So let's recap and bring everyone up to speed on just some of the VHS happenings. Makes you want to learn a whole lot more, right? Well, here we go. Students at Vineland High School, we live our motto. Students enter to learn, they go forth to serve. Vineland High School offers 18 advanced placement courses. We offer 13 honors level courses. Vineland High School offers several dual credit opportunities for our students, and we have very strong partnerships with RCSJ and Stockton University. Vineland High School is the home to an amazing visual and performing arts department. In addition to our career and technical education programs, agriculture, automotive technology, CAD, the Air Force JROTC, graphic design, accounting, video production, marketing, JAG, business management, and construction trades, which will launch in the fall. Course selection is underway, and the construction trades program is already a very popular course. So this is extremely exciting for our Vineland High School community. Vineland High School offers 6 languages: German, Russian, Spanish, ASL, French, and Italian. Our special education transitional program is for our post-12th grade students, that's our 18 to 21-year-old students, who remain in school due to specific vocational needs and for life skill experiences. The goal of the program is for our students to be employed and have job experiences for post-secondary employment. Integration of multiple on-campus job sites, in addition to community-based work experiences, are through strong partnerships that Vineland High School has with area businesses. The Applied Math and Science Academy at Vineland High School is located at Johnstone School. Students enrolled in the program can choose their track in which they would like to earn their associate's degree. Vineland High School has a plethora of services we offer to our students: academic support, social-emotional support, mental health support, and medical services. Our skilled team members stand ready to provide these services to our Vineland school community. And one thing I wanted to point out here is the 10 students. We had instant decision day with Stockton University, and the 10 students seen right here will all be attending Stockton University in the fall. Another service offered to Vineland High School students is Camelot Academy. Camelot is part of Vineland High School and is located at Cunningham School. I did want to touch base briefly on the transitioning between buildings. Students do transition and have transitioned between buildings depending upon where specific courses are offered. For example, if you are a student and you are enrolled in ASL, the Air Force J ROTC, or graphic design, those courses are located in the Dennis Tanner building. If you are a student and your course is like construction trades, studio production, AP courses, Russian and German, among other courses, they are located at the South building. Students transitioning between buildings do receive additional time to get to their class on time. So they're given about an additional 4 minutes past the bell to transition between the two buildings. So now once the bell rings, our dynamic teaching staff provides our students with engaging, hands-on small group learning opportunities. These pictures show our students collaborating and engaged in small group learning. Small group instruction not only provides our students with more targeted instruction, but our students have the opportunity to collaborate and learn from each other. This has been critical to our students' individual learning needs and has proven that in-person learning is critical to our students' academic success. I call this next slide our COVID comeback year. Data is showing our students are making typical to high growth in both language, arts, and math. So that is extremely exciting. Again, it is very clear from looking at this data that in-person instruction is what our students need, and I am so glad we are back in school full-time. Service learning at Vineland High School is a graduation requirement. Students will earn 40 service hours before graduation. Any student that earns 100 service learning hours will receive a cord to wear at graduation, and they will be recognized for their outstanding volunteerism and service to the Vineland community. Clubs and activities are definitely a highlight at Vineland High School, as we offer over 25 clubs to our students. Our athletic programs are another highlight. Currently, we are in the spring season with approximately 350 student athletes. And the next two slides, this being the first, we have some Vineland High School alumni athletes that are in the news currently. Isaiah Pachenko, DJ Campbell, Tess Fisher, and Jamil Demby. And I did just make note of their successes, and they are currently in the news. So, hold on to your hats, mark your calendars, because senior activities are here. So please make sure that you write these dates and times down, because senior activities are underway. And along with the senior activities, I'm extremely excited to announce the many college, career, military acceptances For our class of 2022, they are arriving daily. These are just some of the college, career, and military acceptances that our students have received, and we are so proud of our students. So as you can see, great things are definitely happening at Vineland High School. And I could stand here all night and tell you all the things that I love, but there's nothing better than to hear it from our students.
Diversity. The principal and the vice principals, the teachers. I love the community. Director. I love the second. I love how the teachers value their students. Opportunities and programs. Right. Clubs. Job opportunities. Lunch.
Shout out to Pravesh. So in conclusion, Vineland High School, as we all know, is rich in history and tradition. Vineland High School prepares our students to be competitive in an increasingly competitive world. Vineland High School is committed to serving all students and is a place where diversity and differences are accepted. Vineland High School is forward-thinking with our programs of study. Vineland High School's exceptional programs are preparing our students to be college, career, and military ready. Students at Vineland High School truly do enter to learn and go forth to serve. I'd like to take a moment and thank both Central Administration and board members for your continued support. Thank you for allowing me to speak this evening and share all the wonderful things that are happening at Vineland High School. Is there any questions?
The presentation speaks for itself. Congratulations, Principal DeMarchi and your team for putting together an exceptional presentation. It's our mission to share the amazing work that is happening at Vineland High School. It's critical that we all take that charge and share widely with the community all of the amazing things that are happening there, because we believe it's the best option for all of our students to go to Vineland High School and participate in all the amazing programs that we have available, as you can see from this presentation. At a future board meeting, you'll see some of our students come to us, our student council. They will be coming to speak directly to the board about some of the things they would like to see at Vineland High School and the support that they need from you as board members, the Board of Education, and our central office staff. Now at this time, Director of Facilities Paul Farinaccio, he will be sharing our facilities upgrades for 2022. Mr. Farinaccio.
Thank you, Superintendent Yano. Welcome, everybody, board members, public. I was asked tonight to give an update on facilities. So I know people get nervous when I get up here. I'm going to be succinct, and I'm going to try to cover it all. One of the questions was focusing, or one of the intentions was to focus on the HVAC projects. I wanted to cover everything because I wanted people to get a better understanding of the challenges that we're up against and the successes, because we have a good team with central administration and our board, and the collaboration in making decisions in an ever-changing, volatile economic climate. So I'm going to get started. Last week, Mr. Yano and Ms. Leary talked about the money that is allocated for Vineland Public Schools, where that funding comes from, those sources. So I wanted to be specific and explain, when you drill down and you look at the facilities and the capital project work that we are doing It comes from four funding sources. Capital, which is normal, every year-to-year money that we appropriate. ESSER 2, ESSER 3, and then we also received a School Development Authority grant this year. So these groupings are the pool of money that we're trying to be targeted and maximized to get and accomplish projects within Vineland Public Schools. There's a challenge though. All of those have different criteria, different procurement rules and regulations, dates and times that you have to enact certain funding pieces. And so it's been challenging, obviously, when we're dealing in this post-pandemic world that we're dealing with, to blend it all and make everything work. And again, maximize our dollar for improvements that we need for Vineland Public Schools. Some of the challenges I've listed, and it has altered decisions that were made. Again, we're always collaborating and we're always policing what's going on. Manufacturing, labor shortages, shipping, all of that economic volatility. And then when we think about some of the projects I'm going to talk about, specifically HVAC is the most invasive. We're going to be gutting classrooms. And so when you think about the invasiveness, summertime doesn't give you a big spread. You're looking at 8 to 10 weeks. You know, teachers got to get back up and set up. So these are the decision-making things on whether we're doing things we're going to try to do everything in a summer, 2 summers, maybe over 3 summers. And then we're also looking at ways that we can get work done during our occupied times. Now, I want to ad-lib that the idea is not to mess up student and teaching within each space, but we're just trying to maximize on that. I wanted to talk about Capital 21 and 22. This was last year's budget money, only because there's some projects that still are not done. Tonight, I believe you're going to be approving the DePolito roof project. That was bid and awarded. There's also been some challenges with roofing materials, and so we finally got that one out to bid. Vineland High School North, we're finishing up the chiller that was bid out almost a year ago. That'll be ready to go by the return of spring break. So, our ambient temperatures are warming up. We're glad that we're going to be able to get the air conditioning on at Vineland High School North. And then we had a delay in the greenhouse. That construction has started, and we're hoping to finish that up in May. The rest of the projects were all successfully completed and done. Our first wave of this ESSER 2 and ESSER 3 monies that I'm talking about comes from a CARES Act initiative that was federal grant money, and it was released in 2 waves. The first allocation for ESSER 2, maintenance did several things. We purchased PPE, we purchased equipment to help us disinfect more efficiently, but we were allowed to use some of the funding towards window upgrades and HVAC work. We were not the only ones taking part of ESSER 2 money, but I was allowed to incorporate 3 buildings where we need much needed windows. So the windows are not only helping mechanically to bring in fresh air, help with the pandemic situation, but they're also going to improve our buildings aesthetically, and we need them. DePolito, Rossi, and Barcy was bid about a year ago, and the windows are just coming in now. We're hoping to start that project in the next couple weeks. We've run into some environmental issues that we're working around. I'm going to brief our facilities committee. At the end of this month, we have a meeting on the specifics of that, but I am confident that we're going to be wrapping up these 3 schools by summertime, the start of summer. So now we get into the meat and potatoes, the HVAC renovations. When we started this, we commissioned, again, ESSER 3 monies was just not for facilities. There was a portion carved out for what we wanted to accomplish in capital work. And then there were other things used. Originally, we were at $28 to $30 a square foot was the going rate for HVAC replacement renovation work. So we had to try to anticipate the market changes. And again, the competition. We're not just competing against our neighbors, Millville, Bridgeton, and not just the state, but we're also competing against the country because CARES Act money was implemented in every state for every school district to buy what? Air conditioning, HVAC systems, windows. We're all competing against the same things. That drives up cost. That's that economic volatility that I talked about. We started out with a $28 to $30 square foot number. We went $45 a square foot for our budgetary appropriations, which totaled out to about $16.5 million for 6 buildings. As bids started rolling in, Winslow was first, then Durand. Durand came in almost double what we anticipated. It was at almost $70 a square feet. And so that now reduces your scope of completion schools. So where are we at now? We've awarded Durand, we've awarded Mennies, we've awarded Winslow Phase 1. Barcy is coming out next month. We're hoping we're going to have good numbers on that. And then we are supposed to return to Winslow Phase 2 to finish off that building. So hopefully by the end of this, we'll have 4 completed schools with full HVAC replacement. Johnstone and Cunningham, we're not going to forget about them. Mr. Yano and I had a meeting with the School Development Authority just in November. They're looking to reappropriate new monies for districts. They're looking at a new funding source. So we mentioned the concern that we may not be able to capture, based on the economic climate, all of our HVAC projects. That's listed in our long-range facility plan. So I can tell you and promise you that as a district, we're going to continue to prioritize as best to see this thing through other funding sources. ESSER 3 windows were also needed. We have old buildings with original windows, and so we're looking to accomplish 7 school buildings. Now, glass, I'm being told from the market, is actually lowering. It's dropping a little bit in price, which is a good thing. So hopefully we can capture all 7. Obviously, we're going to prioritize accordingly based on the bid numbers that come back to us. Right now, we're finishing up specification and design, and then hopefully launching these out to bid, and we'll do as much as we can. We would prioritize schools over the central office. Even though the windows at Landis are in bad shape, we would always focus on the schools first. That rounds us to capital 22 and 23. So we've been aggressive. The large funding portion is coming out of ESSER 2 and 3, but we're still appropriating some capital money for this coming year, predicated on state approval. And so we're looking to do a full roof replacement at Anthony Rossi School. I don't see that coming in this summer. It would probably be the summer of 2023, just because of roofing materials and the delays there. And then our track is due for resurfacing. And so we thought that would be a good scope of money to appropriate to keep on the replacement cycle with maintaining things. And again, we're pretty confident that the state is going to approve our budget, hopefully. Those are the 2 items. Lastly, we have this SDA grant fund, which was $1.7 million to our district. Ms. Leary touched about that at the budget meeting. We are going to try to upgrade our camera system district-wide. A large portion of that money is going into Phase 1, which is going to take care of the high schools, the middle schools, and it's also going to do some work at Landis. I didn't list Landis, but that's going to be a server hub that you can view these cameras in a centralized location. There'll be another hub at the high school. But that is going to start that Phase 1. We're hoping to get the entire district upgraded and replaced over the next 2 to 3 years. There's also planning money, lastly, for the construction trades program. We think that we have it covered as we're developing the plan. We just had a meeting today with the new teacher and the Construction Advisory Trades Group. And so we're looking, hopefully this money is utilized in the near future, or the planning, we think we're going to have a hit and success. And so this might be for year 2 build out that we're appropriating some monies to do more with the construction trades program. So in closing, I just want to note, I'm going to do my best to continue to communicate. I feel very appreciative of the collaborative effort and the support that I'm receiving from central administration and also our board. Just recently, we had a special board meeting to award Meny's HVAC. That did not go in vain. It was a week and a half prior to our regular scheduled board meeting, and it looks like we're going to receive all of the HVAC equipment for this summer for Meny's, and a week and a half made the difference, allowing the contractor to get the order in. So that's teamwork, that's collaboration, and that's support, and I'm so appreciative of that. With these invasive HVAC jobs, I'm looking towards the staff who's always been supportive of facilities. We've got to clean up rooms. I want to return these classrooms back the way they were found. Trust me, that's the goal. But packing, and it's not going to be, some of that is unpleasant, but when we get on the other side of this, with all of these capital improvements, I can assure you it's going to be well deserved, and it's going to be wonderful. The infusion of money, and that's where I talk about the perspective. $27 million between the 21 capital and 22, and then this year's capital and that ESSER funding. That's an aggressive amount of money. I'm getting looked at by people. You're going to spend how much and do it over a course of like 2.5, 3 years? It's aggressive, but we're trying to take advantage of it because we don't have opportunities like this all the time. So again, thank you for all of your support and your commitment, and I look forward to the future. Any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Farinaccio. Excellent work. Okay. I see you. All right. Next, Assistant Superintendent Mr. Fry, Dr. Sneeden will present our 2022 Summer Academy Plan.
Thank you, Mr. Yano, Board of Education members, attendees. So Summer Academy 2, here we are. Last year we were having this same conversation about Summer Academy 1. An extremely successful event, many people involved, planning, implementing, and now we're receiving those benefits, as Mr. Marchi was talking about a little bit in her program as well, about our progress towards growth. We're seeing that same growth across the district, and that's directly responsible. The teachers and programs are directly responsible for that growth. So Summer Academy 2, what's it going to look like? So we'll talk briefly about the mission, describe it a little bit, and ask for questions. So the mission is part of our 2-year response to COVID. We were granted a considerable amount of funds, as Mr. Farinaccio was discussing, with ESSER 3, with ESSER 2, and ESSER 1. And these funds were put to great use by the district, and it continues. There is no 1-year kind of quick shot solution for our COVID response plan. It's intense foundational reading instruction for early elementary. It expands opportunities for all students to use the curriculum across all levels. And it really looks to include credit recovery for the high school and overall bolster students' ability to perform in math and language arts. The program itself will be 18 days, all in-person instruction. We kind of abandoned the mixed COVID response as far as what students can do online compared to in-person. We've found that the in-person instruction is so much better received. It is data-driven from the needs that we've had previous to COVID, Summer 1, and this year. Supervisors and teachers have been working collaboratively to develop the curriculum based on student needs. But again, once the students arrive in the classrooms, teachers will have the flexibility to group students based on their needs and meet every student's individual need. Multiple populations, from our special ed population to our ESL bilingual populations, everyone's included. And yes, students will be able to continue to use EduSeer as a traditional summer school option. Time for this year? Absolutely. I'll turn it over to Dr. Steen real quick. Thank you.
So with the times, we tried to tier things in an effort to keep things in the morning and to allow for transportation to get our students to the locations on time. So our high school program will be running from 8:45 to 12:45, elementary, preschool, and middle school from 8 to 12, with teachers arriving about a half an hour before and staying a half an hour later than the students. Our locations, if you were listening to Mr. Farinaccio's presentations, obviously had to change from last year. Last year we were able to have every single elementary school be a site, and we're simply not able to do that this year due to the fortune that we have of getting all of these facility upgrades. It will make it a little less convenient for parents, but I think that I want to encourage parents still to take advantage. Even if Summer Academy isn't at your regular home school, it's certainly still going to be a very valuable program that you want to engage with. Our preschoolers will be at Delago West. Our younger elementary school students will be split between Petway and Sabataire, with the Rossi, Petway, Mennies, and Winslow students attending at Petway, and Barcy, Sabataire, DePalato, and Durand attending at Sabataire. All of our 3rd through 5th grade students will get a little preview of middle school because they'll be attending at Pilla, and all of our 6th through 8th grade students will attend Summer Academy at Wallace. Our high school students, AMSA students, will all be at VHS North. Our Alphabest program will continue to provide before and after care for all of the summer programming, and they'll have a full-day program at Petway for our working parents, as they did last year. It's an incredible amount of funding, and it will help us to pay for this entire program, but it'll allow us to do wonderful things for our students, with our teachers, as Mr. Fry said, in person. The posting went out today, and we're currently hiring for all of these different positions for the summer program through the ESSER funding. Anybody have any questions? Okay. Well, thank you for your attention this evening.
Okay, we are going to do the HIB report right before we go into our executive session.
The HIB report is noted on our agenda. It is there for the review of the public, so I offer the report for the month as noted on our agenda.
Any questions or comments regarding the HIB? No? Can I have a motion? Okay, at this time, we will resume into executive session for a few moments of the non-conflicted board members. Okay, at this time, we will move on to approval of our minutes from our February 17th, 2022 special meeting, March 2nd, 2022 combined meeting, March 23rd, 2022 special meeting. Any questions or comments? Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Acosta?
Yes.
Ms. Fabry?
Yes.
Mr. Fiocchi?
Yes.
Mr. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. Rivera?
Yes.
Mrs. Sabrana?
Yes.
Mrs. Cataspati?
Yes.
Ms. Spinelli?
Yes. Okay, moving on, committee reports. This evening, who has committee reports? Mr. Holmes, you have two?
Okay, all right, I'll go. Transportation met on Tuesday, March 29th at 5 o'clock. Present were myself, Mr. Rivera, Ms. Fabry, Mr. Yano, Mr. Jimmy Hewitt, Ms. Spinelli, Ms. Leary, Ms. Camaro, and Ms. Blakely. Tonight we have Mr. Jimmy Hewitt, who is the acting supervisor. He has 37 years with the district and has served as a warehouse and garage supervisor. Glad to have him a part of the team. And tonight we have our two assistant transportation coordinators, Ms. Dana Blakely, who previously worked as a bus driver and has been with the district since 2015, and Ms. Abigail Camaro previously worked in personnel and has been with the district since 2016. Two internal hires that were promoted. Glad to have them both on board. This team, these three are the best team that I've seen, the transportation department, in a long time. So we're glad to see those people leading that department. There was a transportation update from Mr. Hewitt. The focus on public relations and late buses. Training has taken place to prepare new drivers for their CDL license. The CC Tech route, the new assistant coordinators will monitor the number of students riding the bus. Currently, there are 15 buses assigned to 380 students. Bus tiering, Mr. Yano discussed. The bus tiering options, a survey will be sent to the parents in the near future, but nothing is definite at this time. There is a mandatory bus drivers meeting that will take place tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., which I will be in attendance. That's all for transportation. Policy and personnel met on March 30th at 4:15. Present were myself, Mr. Yano, Dr. Sneed, and Dr. Rossi, and on Zoom, Ms. Spinelli, Mr. Fiocchi, and Mr. Sabrana. Discussion of personnel matters, which are on the agenda for approval tonight, were Wallace Principal, Early Childhood Supervisor, Assistant Payroll Supervisor, Principal Payroll Clerk, Clerk Typist Personnel, and Security Guard. Policy discussed were the middle school PE procedural change and Policy 7444, the use of metal detectors. Transportation and policy and personnel reports.
Mr. Fiocchi?
Finance Committee met on March 28th at 8 a.m. In attendance were myself, Mr. Silva, Ms. Spinelli, Mr. Rivera, Ms. Leary, Mr. Massarell, and Mr. Yano. We discussed professional services and the RFP process for those services, and we also discussed the next steps for the budget. That was it. Thank you.
Anyone else? Ms. Acosta?
The Curriculum Instruction and Technology Committee met on March 21st, and in attendance were Mr. Yano, our Assistant Superintendent Nathan Fry, myself, Ms. Cataspati, Alex Silva, and Megan Spinelli. We discussed MAC 1, which is basically a compilation of really wonderful videos that staff members have access to and provide a lot of instruction and review of various things. I thought it was really great. We discussed board member laptops. We discussed the Summer Academy, which our assistant superintendents touched on tonight. We discussed some of the program updates, including the math curriculum that's going to be rolling out, the new curriculum rolling out, as well as the ELA. And finally, we discussed the students. We have a number of students that will be graduating with both their high school degree and their college degree. So we're very proud of them. And that's about it.
Any questions or comments regarding?
Thank you. Just with the transportation, I know in the past that we've had trouble getting our people to get CDL licenses. Is that still a big problem? I know we kind of, back several months ago, we talked about offering up our bus yard because we just can't get them in. What is our wait time? Because I know how badly we need drivers, so what is our wait time to get our people in to get CDLs? How are we getting, like, when they have to go for their licenses for the CDL? I mean, like with the state, is there a big problem getting ours? I know we're doing well here, but like getting them their actual license with the state, I know there was some kind of problem before, so is that better?
Can you go over to the microphone, just so we can catch you, please?
He probably doesn't know all that.
Good evening, everyone. I apologize for that. I thought it wasn't going to be as long as that. What we basically do is, when we get the applicants here, we have a person downstairs that is adding them to the register and everything else, and making sure all their documents, their background checks, and stuff like that are done immediately before they actually start the training, including fingerprinting. And all that information is inputted into the system, and then they start the training procedures here. We are registered with the state as a private training facility, which means that people who come here to be trained are basically going to be hired as employees here. They're not going to get their license here, then go someplace else. We're working on a few things. One, we are thinking about having people who come here and are trained to be signed to a sheet saying that they have to work here for a certain amount of time once they get their license, so they don't just get their license and work a week and say, we don't want to work here anymore. And we have somebody working downstairs along with the trainers that are keeping the paperwork updated on a weekly. I want to have it on a weekly basis so I know what's going on. I'm just starting now to get a handle on all that stuff, because obviously I've only been kind of doing this for 2 weeks. But I think we've gotten a handle on it, and we've got a lot of drivers coming in now.
Thank you. It sounds like you guys have a good handle on it, and I'm happy to hear that this is going a little quicker than it used to, because we do need drivers, and I know that's a big plus to have all this stuff done. So thank you guys for doing that.
I also am once the drivers get their CDLs, I am not throwing them right out there on the bus. I am going to get the people trained, and when they get their CDL, I'm going to actually let them ride with another driver with the children on the bus, so they get the feel of having the children on the bus at the same time, because it's a little bit different when you start getting 54 kids on a bus and trying to drive. So I'm trying to slow that process down just a little bit to make sure that they're safe.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any questions or comments regarding the committee reports? Okay. Public meeting report by our board solicitor.
None.
Public comment on agenda items.
Yes, we have Roxanne Lorenzik. The topic will be proposal for new bus schedule.
I just need to remind you of the 3-minute time limit.
I might be 3 seconds. I'm Roxanne Dorenzis. I teach 5th grade over at Topolito. Hello. I'm an elementary school teacher, and I think this is a moot point, but just in case I have to voice it and put it out there, please, 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 for the Mr. Hall, if you hear me, and whoever else, the proposed bell schedule, nothing after 4 o'clock, because we will have 5 and 6 and 7 and 8-year-olds in November and December and January getting off the bus in the dark. Nothing after 4 o'clock, please, 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 please. Thank you, and that's it.
Next, we have Stacy McDonald. The topic, I want to know if Winslow Elementary School of Curriculum includes or will include transgender policy 5756.
Hi, ma'am. I just need to remind you of the 3-minute time limit.
Hello, my name is Stacy McDonald. My son goes to Winslow Elementary, and this topic came to me with my brother. I just wanted to know if it's going to be taught in the school district, because I want to know if I heard it was approved by Murphy, so I just want to know if it's going to be taught in the school district soon, or is it being taught?
We're not allowed to exchange in dialogue, so I can have Mr. Yano reach out to you tomorrow with the answer, but if there's anything you want to say and address, you have your time to do that, but we can't exchange in dialogue.
Okay, I just want to know about it, if it's something being taught in school, that's all.
And
That's
what
my
is the
question.
policy?
It's transgender policy 5756.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Any other public comment on agenda items? Seeing none, moving on to motions and resolutions.
Thank you. Requesting discussion regarding personnel item 1.1 and 1.2. 1.1 is approval of the following: A, B, C, and D: retirements, resignations, terminations, leave of absence, employment, transfers; B, students; C, substitutes; D, extracurricular activities. And 1.2, approval of a memorandum of agreement between the Vineland Board of Education and the Vineland Education Association authorizing the execution of a collective negotiations agreement effective July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2025.
Questions or comments?
Madam President,
Yes.
under item 1.1, subhead A, number 5, I will be voting no, strictly on the basis of procedure. I had several questions about the process in this particular case following our most recent personnel and policy meeting. I presented these concerns to our superintendent at a meeting we had on Tuesday. Mr. Yano listened to my concerns, and we discussed them at some length. Mr. Yano agreed that a more consistent process with greater transparency for mid to upper level hire would be in order. I look forward to a process that would allow us to get to this revised structure as soon as possible. Thank you.
I have a comment. I have a comment also. I am concerned about the process of how the recommendations of hires by the administrative parties are being handled. I believe that the process should be reviewed by Policy and Personnel Committee to provide for more communication with board members prior to the time that it's presented to the board for its vote at a board meeting. Thanks.
Do I have a motion? Oh, sorry.
So requesting approval regarding personnel items 1.1 through 1.2.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Acosta?
Yes.
Ms. Fabry?
Yes.
Mr. Fiocchi?
Yes, 1.1, abstain 1.2.
Mr. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. Rivera?
Yes.
Mr. Sabrana?
Yes to everything except item A, number 5.
Excuse me, Mr. Rivera, you have to abstain on 1.1. 1.2. On the VEA.
Correction. I abstain from 1.2.
Thank you. And Mrs. Sabrana, you said no on item A, number 5, is that correct?
As long as there's no change in the agenda.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
What number 5?
Row 5.
Row 5 in hires.
Under replacement hires.
Yeah. I just want to make sure on the record that the correct one's on the record because there's 7 or 8 tabs on the bottom.
Under replacement hire, row 5.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Replacement hire, row 5. Okay, thank you.
Oh, you didn't?
Mrs. Cottasbody?
I'm voting yes, however, with the reservations that I had, as I stated, with the replacement hires number 5, but I will vote yes.
Ms. Spinelli?
Yes.
Requesting discussion regarding procedures and operations, items 2.1 through 2.5. 2.1, approval of trips and district travel as noted on the agenda. 2.2, approval of the second reading of the policies noted on our agenda. Item 2.3, approval to waive the time requirement for review according to policy 0131, bylaws and policies, and adopt the following policy 7444, use of metal detectors. 2.4, approval of the 2022-2023 district calendar. And 2.5, approval of the following data sharing agreement between the Vineland Board of Education and the Higher Education Student Assistance Authority, HESAA, effective April 7th through September 30th, 2022.
Questions or comments?
I'm sorry, I have a question. I have a question about the policy regarding the use of metal detectors. Reading this policy, it also, I don't have a problem with the reading of how it's used. However, it goes into how it'll be recommended to purchase these metal detectors and to be approved. Did I miss something about something being approved? Because don't we have metal detectors already in the schools waiting to be? So this policy should only be dealing with the use of metal detectors? So it shouldn't have anything in here about it being recommended how to purchase them, right? I'm just confused. Because it's two different, to me, it's two different policies.
I think the way the policy was provided to us, that it included both.
Okay.
In the future, if we have to purchase additional
Right.
metal detectors, replacement metal detectors, we have a process or a procedure. The current metal detectors are in district, were
Okay.
part of a process that started 2 years ago through the Safety and Security Committee, so.
Okay. I was just
Yes.
confused
thank
because
you,
it
though.
said use of metal detectors, so when I was reading it, it had both, so, okay.
Any other questions or comments?
Someone else? No. Can't? 2.4 district calendar. I'm going to ask that we table that approval until we can have more discussion at committee level and one-on-one. Just a few concerns I have with timing.
So can I get a motion and a second on 2.4?
You have an option here. The superintendent can withdraw this from his recommendations and place it on the next meeting's agenda, or you could have a motion to table. First, let's give the superintendent the opportunity to withdraw. Unless, if you don't care to,
That's
then it's going
a
to be a
good
motion.
question. Well, we put it on here as a superintendent's recommendation because we wanted it to be approved tonight. And the committee structure, we believe, had processed a lot of the feedback, and this was the agreed-upon calendar. So I would defer to our board member and follow that process of a resolution or a motion to table it.
Well, that would take place then when we get to the motion to approve. Then you can make your motion to table 2.4 at that time, okay? That would be before, yeah.
That would be now.
I thought it was just discussion.
It was, now it's motion time.
No, it must have, okay. I'm sorry. I missed it.
So requesting approval of the following items, 2.1 through 2.5.
Okay. Take your motion. Take your motion.
Do I have a motion?
So moved. But do they have
Do I have a
Yeah,
second?
Second.
Second.
Okay, now Mr. Holmes can make his motion, which would supersede that, to table. So go ahead.
I'd like to make a motion to table 2.4 2022-2023 district calendar.
That would need a second and a vote.
No, that was this other one.
Do I have a motion?
You made a motion.
I made the motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Yeah, this is on the table,
We're
not,
only doing 2.4. Let's do 2.4, approval of the 2022-2023 district calendar.
this is a motion to table. This vote is only on the table, and if it gets tabled, then you then vote on the remainder of 2.1, 2, right? Yeah. Go ahead. Let's have a vote.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Acosta?
Yes. Ms. Fabry?
Yes to table.
Yes.
Mr. Fiocchi,
Yes.
Mr. Holmes,
Yes, I think.
Mr. Rivera,
Yes.
Mr. Sabrana,
Yes.
Mrs. Cottospati.
Yes.
Ms. Spinelli.
Yes.
Okay. Now you have a vote on 2.1, 2, and 3, 4, whatever it is. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 5.
Any questions or comments regarding 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, or 2.5? Do I have a motion?
It's already on the table.
It's already on the table.
Roll call.
Roll call.
You want to go by Robert's rules, this is how it plays.
Ms. Acosta,
Yes.
Ms. Fabry,
Yes.
Mr. Fiocchi,
Yes.
Mr. Holmes.
Yes.
Mr. Rivera,
Yes.
Mrs. Sabrana,
Yes.
Mrs. Cottospati.
Yes.
Ms. Spinelli.
Yes.
Request and discussion regarding finance items 4.1 through 4.7. 4.1, approval of budgetary transfers for general, school-based, and ECPA for February 2022. 4.2, approval of the board secretary and treasurer reports for February 2022. 4.3, approval regarding the placement of special education students. 4.4, approval of the following items regarding the revised 2022-2023 preliminary school district budget for submission to the State of New Jersey Department of Education as noted on our agenda. 4.5, approval of maintenance reserve deposit included in the general fund appropriations is $2,800,000. This deposit is required for maintenance and will be used to implement the district's comprehensive maintenance plan. 4.6, approval and acceptance of the 2020-2021 audit, including the Comprehensive Annual Financial Report, CAFR, and Auditor's Management Report by Ford Scott and Associates. 4.7, approval regarding the 2022-2023 preschool expansion one-year preschool program plan.
Questions or comments? Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
4.1 to 4.7.
Ms. Acosta,
Yes.
Ms. Fabry,
Yes.
Mr. Fiocchi,
Yes.
Mr. Holmes.
Yes.
Mr. Rivera,
Yes.
Mr. Sabrana,
Yes.
Mrs. Cottospati.
Yes.
Ms. Spinelli.
Yes.
Request and discussion regarding finance items 4.8 through 4.14. 4.8, approve a resolution appointing the following changes to the Newfield National Bank depositories for the Wallace Intermediate Student Activity Account. 4.9, approval of a resolution authorizing the following change to the Newfield National Bank depository for Winslow Elementary. 4.10, approval regarding the acceptance of an adopted classroom donation by RK Subaru of Vineland in accordance with Board Policy 7230. 4.11, approval regarding a professional services contract with Ford Scott and Associates in an amount not to exceed $10,000 to continue to perform a review and analysis of the CC Tech's tuition charges and adjustments to the district. 4.12, approval of a professional services agreement memorandum with Complete Care, including certificate of liability insurance. 4.13, approval of a professional services contract with Epic Environmental Engineering, a certified and licensed asbestos building inspector, to perform asbestos testing relating to HVAC projects at the following schools in the district for the time period of April 7th through June 30th, 2022. Dana Barcy Elementary, Mary Durand Elementary, Dr. William Mennies Elementary School. 4.14, approval of the professional development with Seidlitz education workshops on April 4th, 11th, 25th, 2022, and May 2nd, 2022, from 4 to 5:30 p.m. on 7 Steps to a Language-Rich Interactive Classroom for Wallace Intermediate School at a cost of $5,100.25.
Questions or comments? Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Acosta?
Yes.
Ms. Fabry?
Yes.
Mr. Fiocchi?
Yes.
Mr. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. Rivera?
Yes.
Mr. Sobrana?
Yes.
Mrs. Cottasbody?
Yes.
Ms. Spinelli?
Yes to everything but 4.12, I have to abstain.
Thank you.
Requesting discussion regarding finance items 4.15 through 4.19. 4.15, approval of a resolution authorizing the donation of a 2002 C-250 GMC truck to the city of Vineland. 4.16, approval awarding the following contract for homebound instruction, RFP number 022223, effective July 1st, 2022 to June 30th, 2023, with the option to renew 2 one-year terms. Homebound instruction to contractors' advanced education centers. 4.17, approval awarding the following contract for online instruction, RFP number 032223, effective July 1st, 2022 to June 30th, 2023, with the option to renew 2 one-year terms. Contractor Eduseer LLC. 4.18, approval awarding the following contract subject to a form of contract acceptable to the superintendent and board solicitor for substitute staff and services, effective July 1st, 2022 to June 30th, 2023, with the option to renew 2 one-year terms or 1 two-year term for a maximum of a 3-year term for substitute staff and services, ESS Northeast LCC. 4.19, approval regarding the following contract for health broker, effective July 1st, 2022 to June 30th, 2025, with the option to renew 2 one-year terms or 1 two-year term for a maximum of a 5-year term. Contractor Stanley H. Allen, Allen Associates.
Questions or comments? Roll call. Motion. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Acosta?
Yes.
Ms. Fabry?
Yes.
Mr. Fiocchi?
Yes, abstain on 4.19.
Mr. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. Rivera?
Yes.
Mr. Sobrana?
Yes.
Mrs. Cottasbody?
Yes.
Ms. Spinelli?
Yes to everything and no to 4.18.
Discussion regarding finance items 4.20 through 4.22. 4.20, approval of a resolution awarding the following contract for school-based mental health services, RFP 092223, for a term of July 1st, 2022 to June 30th, 2023, with the option to renew 2 one-year terms or 1 two-year term for a maximum of a 3-year term. The contractor is Ascenda Incorporated. This resolution for 4.20 includes rejecting 2 proposals, RFP 092223, on the award of the contract to Ascenda Incorporated for school-based mental health services due to the material defect of their failure to submit financial guarantees. 4.21, approval awarding the following contract for athletic field maintenance, herbicide, pesticide, irrigation, bid number 102223. The contractor is Dobson Turf Management for a total contract amount of $57,500. 4.22, approval awarding contract 122223 for the replacement of the roof at the Palo Alto School to Union Roofing Contractors of Philadelphia, the lowest responsible bidder, in the amount of $1,193,000.
Any questions or comments? Ms. Acosta?
I just had a comment, well, no, a question really on 4.20. I really quite didn't understand. So we're approving the school-based mental health services. And then beneath the contractor, it says the resolution includes rejecting 2 proposals on the award of the contract to Ascenda Inc. for school-based mental health services due to material defects of their failure to submit financial guarantees. So is it, we're only approving a part of their proposal or the other 2?
I'll take that. I've reviewed this. Okay. There were 4 proposals, I believe, submitted. 2 of the proposal responders did not provide bid security, which they were required to. It's a fatal defect. It's not waivable. So the contract then became evaluated between the remaining 2, and this is the one that the administration has recommended. But it is for full service.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you for the clarification.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Acosta?
Yes.
Ms. Fabry?
Yes.
Mr. Fiocchi?
Yes, abstain on 4.20.
Thank you. Mr. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. Rivera?
Yes.
Mr. Sabrana?
Yes.
Mrs. Cataspati?
Yes, however, I'd like to change my vote on 4.18 to no.
No. Thank you. Ms. Spinelli?
Yes.
Discussion regarding finance items 4.23 through 4.25. 4.23, approval of year 2 renewal for these contracts at the current contract price from July 1st, 2022 to June 30th, 2023. And A is concrete and masonry services, Fabry Builders. B, HVAC services, Falaska Mechanical. C, plumbing services, Falaska Mechanical. D, roofing services, Kowalski Roofing. E, electrical services, Leeway Electrical. 4.24 is approval to year 3, renewing contracts at the current contract price from July 1st, 2022 to June 30th of 2023. And A is before and after care school programs. Alpha Best Education is the contractor. B, asphalt paving services, contractor Asphalt Paving Corporation. C, painting services, contractor Capri Construction. D, elementary cross-curricular digital learning, contractor is Learning A to Z. And then 4.25, approval regarding the following Cumberland County and Regional Cooperative Transportation Initiatives, as noted on our agenda. For bid 10, quoted contracts, addenda, GCSSSD participation agreement, and shared services transportation jointures.
Questions and comments? Seeing none, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second? Second. Roll call, please.
Ms. Acosta?
Yes.
Ms. Fabry?
Abstain from 4.23A, yes to the rest.
Thank you. Mr. Fiocchi?
Yes, but abstain on 4.23A, 4.24B.
Thank you. Mr. Holmes?
Yes.
Bob.
Yes.
Mr. Rivera?
Yes.
Mr. Sabrana?
Yes.
Mrs. Cataspati?
Yes.
Ms. Spinelli?
Yes. Moving on, regular agenda items is none. 10B, proposed items for review or discussion or adoption by board members. None. Any questions or comments? Number 11, approval of bills for February 2022. Questions or comments? Do I have a motion? So moved. Second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Acosta?
Yes.
Ms. Fabry?
Yes.
Mr. Fiocchi? Mr. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. Rivera?
Yes.
Mrs. Sabrana?
Yes.
Mrs. Cataspati?
Yes.
Ms. Spinelli?
Yes. Emergent items with prior approval? None. Any old business this evening? Seeing none. Any new business this evening? Seeing none. Okay, now we are down to board member comments. Please limit yourself to 5 minutes, and we will start with Mr. Rivera.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to thank the students from Memorial School that led us in the flag salute. I'm going to be a little honest with you. When Camelot Academy came up, I didn't say anything because I was going to get emotional. That's why I didn't say anything. But I'd like to congratulate them and the work that they're doing. It's amazing to see how you could just take kids out of an environment that perhaps they're not excelling in and putting them in the right place with the right people and see them fly. It's amazing. And so I congratulate those students. I congratulate Camelot Academy and all their staff for the wonderful work that they're doing. I also, we heard a lot about processes and how things are done here, and I agree that always, whenever there's transparency and communication, when there's more of it, it's always a better thing. It's always a good thing. We as a board trust central administration and all the supervisors and the staff that they're doing a wonderful job and they're doing a great job, and we believe that. But we are accountable to taxpayers and the people that place us in these seats, and for us to know a little bit about what's going on more would be beneficial to us and beneficial in a whole. So communication, transparency I'm always going to be about that. But I'm going to say that I thank the central administration, I thank the supervisors, the heads of departments for the wonderful work you guys are doing. And the beautiful work that is going to be done in this district. I was listening to the presentation from the Vineland High School, and I'll put our programs and our sports and our students against anybody. I don't care who you are. I'll put our programs against anybody, and I dare someone to say that there's a better programs, better situation for our students here in Vineland than in Vineland Public Schools. Thank you and have a good evening.
Thank you, Mr. Rivera. Mr. Sabrana.
Yes, good evening. It was nice seeing the presentation by Cunningham Academy. It's always great seeing students here. I don't want to make this a new proposal tonight, but I'd like to bring back something we did many years ago, the student spotlight, where there was whatever the best thing going on by a school or a group of kids. We asked them to come and make a presentation at the board meeting, give them a certificate, and give them a little extra publicity. I think that would be a good thing. Now that we're hopefully getting out of the COVID era, and we can have more people here. Also, a great presentation by Ms. DeMarchi. Can't believe here comes that end of school rush sneaking up on us again. I sat there, and when I looked at the list of all the events, I thought, can that be? Hopefully we'll be able to take that list and maybe parse it up and try to have presentation at each of those events by at least one board member to say a few words or just to sort of wave the flag. I always felt that was a good thing to do. And hopefully, spring is upon us pretty soon, and better weather and good health for everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sobrana. Mr. Fiocchi.
Nothing at this time.
Mr. Holmes.
Yes, thank you to Memorial School for the flag salute tonight, and thank you to Cunningham Academy for how eloquently, and I don't even do it, they spoke this evening. I guess just a reminder to the board that we're still governed by committee, so if there's ever a question about things that happen, my phone is always open. Give me a call. Policy and Personnel Transportation, give me a call. And most things that we discuss on the agenda are discussed in committee, or I have some knowledge of happening. So always reach out to our committee chairs if you ever have a question or need more transparency. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes. Ms. Acosta.
Thank you. I'm going to echo the same sentiments as my fellow board members. It's always a pleasure to have students come before the board. It's why we do what we do. And just seeing our youth coming up and expressing themselves, to me, it really warms the heart. Mrs. DeMarchi, you did a phenomenal job. I loved your presentation. It's wonderful to see that so much is happening and that our students are really making tremendous gains. It's been a tough couple of years, and I think that hearing some good news, certainly we can see the light at the end of the tunnel. I know we have a ways to go, but with that said, Mr. Fry and Dr. Sneathan, thank you for your presentation. I think our summer academy is going to help bolster the progress that we've made to try to help those students that are still in need to fill that gap where there was learning loss. And I know that it's going to be a wonderful summer academy, and our students hopefully will thrive. And finally, I just want to thank Mr. Farinaccio. Your presentation also was really wonderful. Thank you so much for the hard work. I can't even imagine. I mean, that's a huge amount of work that you've undertaken. And I know logistically and just all the issues that have come up and are constantly changing. So I really congratulate you and your department, and as well as central administration, for working together on these wonderful endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Acosta. Ms. Fabry.
Good evening. Tonight I wanted to talk about the Transportation Committee and especially thank our acting Transportation Supervisor, Jimmy, Ms. Blakely, and Ms. Camaro. Our transportation meeting last week I thought was phenomenal, really great collaboration. Talked about a lot of things as a group. It is really exciting to have all of you on board, especially a school bus driver who can now come and talk about the day and the life of being a bus driver. And I want to commend everybody who thought about that, and also for Jimmy for stepping up and doing such a fantastic job. Cunningham Academy really moved me. It's like an aha moment of here, this is why I'm here and this is why everybody's here in this room. To see that growth in those students was fantastic. Thank you to the Memorial students and all of our presenters this evening. Ms. DeMarchi, thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Fabry. Ms. Acosta. Oh, Ms. Cottaspati. I'm looking at you.
I just want to thank the Memorial Middle School for coming and do the flag salute. It's always great, as I've said before, to have our students here doing something. I was looking over the retirees, and we have 211 years of dedicated years for people that are retiring this right now. It's nice to see some of our administrators here, Mr. Marchi, Speakman, our two back there from our preschool. It's exciting to see you back there. I'm excited about our preschool program. Being preschool liaison, it's going very well. Thank you, Ms. DeMarchi, for that wonderful presentation. Please send us those dates again because I didn't have my camera to snip it, so I want to put them all in my calendar. Mr. Farinaccio, you answered a lot of my questions or gave me a lot of insight as to things that were happening, so thank you for that. Mr. Fry, Dr. Sneathen, thank you for explaining all about the summer program, the academy. I know we get to see some of this, but a lot of the parents don't. Cunningham, I've said what I had to say before. I love this program, and those students are phenomenal. And the board members, if you haven't gotten over there, please get over there to do that. I'm not sure if any of you know, but one of our own is in the running again this year for American Hero Therapy Dog of the Year. That's Cole from Menny's. He was runner-up last year. If you're on social media, get on there, vote, share, 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 share. We would love to have him win this year. He's an amazing dog. Mr. Hanna does so, I should say his human, does so much for Cole, and Cole does so much for our students and the community. So please get out there and vote for him. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Yano?
Just wanted to share a couple highlights from over the last couple of weeks. We've been very busy. Two of our students, Lena Luciano and Ava Luciano, both set new school records for the girls' swim team. The Lago Preschool launched in early March the Latino Family Literacy Project, a 6-week program to establish and support a family reading routine to improve both English language skills and Spanish literacy skills, along with strengthening parent-child interactions. Vineland High School performed the entertaining musical 13, the first school musical since before COVID, so it's been quite some time. It was well received. Everyone did a great job. We want to celebrate our AMSA students for hosting a successful multicultural night featuring 15 different cultures. We also want to support the search for conscious classes at VHS. They are collecting donations for Ukraine. A list of items can be found on our district's Facebook page and can be dropped off at Landis until April 11th. The elementary art show was held virtually this year. The program recognized the amazing art skills from our elementary students. It can be viewed on our website and our social media pages. Petway recently celebrated World Down Syndrome Day, and they did this by raising awareness and participating in fun activities. We also had our March meeting of the Community Partnership Action Committee, which guest speakers Jason Palmer from the Vineland Police Chaplain Division, Pastor Ozzie Hedidia Jr. from Daniel's Den, and Deliza Headley from the Southwest Council, who did a nice workshop on vape pens and the danger of all of those types of products. We also want to celebrate the VHS Select Choir, who performed at the NJPSA conference in Atlantic City on March 25th. I heard the performance was absolutely amazing. Many in the audience at that statewide event were blown away by our students. Also, our Vineland High School Jobs for America graduates, our JAG program, and our transitional students have been hard at work, gaining valuable work experience and volunteer service hours. And we also inducted 89 students into Tri-M Music Honors Society last week, all chosen for distinction by music faculty at the high school. We are preparing for our summer academy. Mr. Fry, Dr. Steven did a nice job presenting what our summer program will look like. Our principals have been heavily involved, working diligently to get everything in order. The postings went up, I believe, today for those positions. I also want to note that I have visited, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of our schools where I've held faculty meetings with staff members to get their insight, their challenges, their opportunities. It's been wonderful, the conversations that I've had in these small room or small group settings, getting to know everyone who's on the front line. We've had secretaries and aides, security guards, teachers, everyone in attendance participating and sharing their experience. Now it's up to us as a central office team to listen to some of those challenges and make adjustments, because nothing is inflexible. We need to be dynamic in our approach, and we are making some moves for next year that will require us to adjust our approach. So I want to say thank you for all of those staff members who've joined me and have been sharing honest ideas, thoughts, and challenging me and our team to really take the lead and continue to push the district forward. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for dealing with our technical difficulties. You would have thought this was our first time all together tonight. So thank you for your patience. March 18th is Bus Driver Appreciation, and I just wanted to send my gratitude to all of our bus drivers, and I hope that we could do something special for them on March the 18th, which is March. Oh, darn it, I missed it. I had it written from last time. It passed.
Happy belated.
Happy belated. Sorry about that. Okay, moving on. Let me welcome our new Wallace School principal, Miss Feliciano, who will be starting on July 1st and was approved tonight. She is not here with us this evening, but we're hope to have her join us at our next board meeting. Also want to take note that the VEA Negotiations Committee has settled a contract, and we did something a little different this round by offering a 4-year contract. So that is something positive, and that is something that we look forward to doing and hopefully offering it to the other unions as well. I want to wish everyone a happy spring break and have a safe and healthy Easter. Thank you. Do I have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
We do. So moved.
Second.